In 2005, pop icon Christina Aguilera transformed a Napa Valley estate into a dreamy winter wonderland. Her wedding looked like a scene from a fairy tale: frosted silver branches, candlelit tables, and white roses covering every surface. Christina wore a Spanish-style silk gown by Christian Lacroix, and the celebration included 150 close guests who were flown in for an intimate but lavish event. But here's the jaw-dropper. Christina gifted Jordan a vintage $54,000 Rolls-Royce before they even said, "I do." Imagine getting married and being handed the keys to a classic luxury car. That's not a honeymoon. That's a lifetime of bragging rights. Only Elizabeth Taylor could host her 8th wedding at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. Yes, Neverland, with tigers, Ferris wheels, and moonwalks just a few feet away. Valentino designed her custom gown, and the entire ceremony was guarded with elite-level security. Why? Because when the king of pop is your best friend, and you're marrying in front of stars like Eddie Murphy and Liza Minnelli, privacy costs millions. Despite the extravagance, the couple divorced 5 years later, but this wedding lives on as one of Hollywood's most bizarre and extravagant unions. When a Beatle gets married, it's never small. Paul McCartney and Heather Mills married in an Irish castle that looked like it was pulled from a medieval fantasy. There were swans swimming in a private lake, a $145,000 fireworks show lighting up the skies, and a feast of Indian vegetarian cuisine, flown in from abroad. Over 300 guests were treated like royalty, with luxury accommodations and handcrafted wedding keepsakes. But behind the spectacle was tension. Just 6 years later, it all unraveled into one of the most talked about divorces in British history, costing Paul over $48 million in the settlement. A wedding? No, this was a Broadway production disguised as a marriage. The venue, Manhattan's Marble Collegiate Church. The music? A 60-piece orchestra. The guests? 850 celebrities, including Joan Collins, Diana Ross, and the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. As best man, Elizabeth Taylor stood beside Liza as matron of honor. The flower bill alone, over $700,000. But the marriage lasted just 16 months. Extravagance can dazzle a crowd, but it doesn't always hold a relationship together. Football royalty demands football-level luxury. When Wayne Rooney married his longtime partner Colleen, they didn't just fly to Italy. They flew all 65 guests on private jets to a 17th-century abbey on the Amalfi Coast. Think sun-soaked terraces, designer gowns, and luxury yachts gliding in the background. Westlife performed a private concert. The wedding cost $8 million, but they cleverly sold photo rights to a UK magazine for nearly $3 million, proving some weddings double as business deals. Michael Jordan doesn't play small, not on the court, and definitely not at his wedding. In 2013, he wed model Yvette Prieto in a massive tent built on a golf course in Palm Beach. Not just any tent, this one was larger than most NBA arenas. The guest list? Celebrities, athletes, and business moguls. Over 100,000 white flowers decorated the space. Usher and Robin Thicke performed live, and the party lasted until the early hours of the next day. If you ever wondered what a $10 million wedding looks like, this was it. 3 dresses, $2 million worth of diamonds. 1 highly televised event. Kim Kardashian's 2011 wedding to NBA player Kris Humphries was more of a media spectacle than a private celebration. Broadcast on E! Every detail, from the $20,000 cake to the black and white theme, was curated for maximum glam. Even though the marriage lasted just 72 days, the wedding became a pop culture phenomenon. Ironically, much of the cost was recouped through TV deals and sponsorships, proving that in the Kardashian universe, even a short-lived love can turn a huge profit. If you haven't heard of this wedding, it's time to Google it. Chinese actress Angelababy and actor Huang Xiaoming hosted what is widely called the Chinese royal wedding. Held at the Shanghai Exhibition Center, the venue was transformed into a fantasy palace, complete with holograms, virtual fireworks, and a 10-foot-tall castle cake. Her custom Dior gown took 5 months to make. Guests received crystal-studded gift bags, and over 2,000 people attended. It cost $31 million, a number higher than many blockbuster movie budgets. a royal wedding that stopped the world. On April 29, 2011, nearly 2 billion people watched as Kate Middleton walked down the aisle at Westminster Abbey. Her custom Alexander McQueen gown, lace-trimmed and handmade, became instantly iconic. The event combined a centuries-old tradition with modern elegance, royal carriages, flower arches, and a $90,000 cake. But the biggest cost? Security at an estimated $33 million. One day, 2 people, and a bill that could rebuild entire towns. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a revolution. Meghan Markle broke centuries of tradition by walking halfway down the aisle solo. A gospel choir sang "Stand By Me." Bishop Michael Curry delivered a sermon that went viral worldwide. Held at Windsor Castle, the ceremony included Oprah, Elton John, George Clooney, and Serena Williams. Security alone cost $40 million, and while it was celebrated as a symbol of modern love, it also sparked intense media fire. Love, legacy, and political tension, all in one royal package. The crown jewel of all weddings. When Lady Diana married Prince Charles in 1981, the entire world tuned in. 750 million people watched live. Diana wore a dress with a 25-foot train, covered in pearls and sequins, made by hand. The ceremony at St. Paul's Cathedral was as majestic as a coronation. Horses, carriages, military processions, and state-level fanfare. It cost $48 million at the time, but adjusted for inflation, that's over $110 million today. Yet for all its grandeur, the love story ended in tragedy. A reminder that even the most expensive day can't guarantee a happily ever after.